freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. The only way they can inherit the freedom we have known is if we fight for it, protect it, defend it, and then hand it to them with the well-taught lessons of how they in their lifetime must do the same. And if you and I don't do this, then you and I may well spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it once was like in America when men were free.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode number 471 of Gun Freedom Radio, where we engage, we educate, and we inform. We are brought to you by azfirearmsauctions.com, where you set the price on guns, ammo, and accessories. I am one of your hosts, Cheryl Todd.
And I'm the other guy, Dan Todd. Our theme today is GOA's Arizona Freedom Festival, and our guest is Cyn Ladd. Cyn is the Arizona State Director for Gun Owners of America, where she advocates the Second Amendment rights and works to protect gun owners' freedoms through public outreach and policy efforts. Cyn is also a member of the Women for Gun Rights and regularly testifies before the Arizona State Legislature.
Thank you, Cyn, for being here, and welcome back.
Hey, thank you. Hi, Danny. Hi, Cheryl. I am so excited to be with you guys today.
Me too. And I'm excited about this big event that Gun Owners of America is putting on here in our own state of Arizona. We are sitting in the studio on February 4th, 2025, just to orient people where we are in time. And this event is coming up on March 1st of 2025. Tell us everything we need to know about it.
Oh, boy. Well, first of all, I want to clarify that this is new to GOA. This is our first year in doing this event. We're so excited about it. But this event has been happening for the last 11 years. This would have been the 12th year. That was created by Writers USA and sponsored along with AZ CDL. And Cheryl, you and Kim and Danny have been so involved in this event. Big kudos, first of all, to everyone in the past who has put this wonderful event together. Last summer, I was contacted, as you know, by the guys over at Writers USA, and they were so gracious and funny. We're too tired, we're too old, we can't do this anymore. And they, asked, do you guys want it? And we said, of course, this is right in our wheelhouse. And, I said yes right away. And then, of course, I had to go to Eric and John and Chris Stone and the powers that be at GOA. And Monty was all on board also. But we very quickly said, yes, absolutely. And everybody has been so wonderful in the support and handing over all the information to us and all the great organization that you guys had done in the past. It was just like putting on a pair of shoes that I've been wearing for a very long time, and they were so comfortable. And so that's the past. That's where we were. And now bringing you up to speed, we did rebrand the event. It is GOA Arizona Freedom Festival. And it is happening, like you say, in just a few days, March 1st, which is so exciting. I don't know where the time has gone. It's just flown by. But we are kind of keeping a lot of things the same. First of all, the location is going to be at the Wesley Bolin Plaza, across from the Capitol, downtown Phoenix. And we will be having food trucks. We're going to have vendors. We're bringing in a lot of new vendors because of our relationships that we've had nationally as well as here locally. And then just a wide variety of speakers. So kind of following along in the same things that you guys have done in the past. And Cheryl, you get to be one of our MCs, you and Monty Bowen.
I'm so excited.
GOA. I know, I'm so excited. And it's just going to be a very fun day and building upon what you guys have already created in the past.
Well, when I look at the list of speakers, I mean, we have always had great speakers, but I feel like you have said, hold my beer. We are kicking this up a notch. There are some awesome names on here. So, some people that have been before, but some brand new names. Do you want to read off any of the ones that you think are like particularly a reason to get out there and support the event?
Okay, you know what? I knew you were going to ask me that,
You
and
didn't bring it in front of you.
I don't have my list
Okay.
in front of me. Okay, so oh shoot, I wish
Well,
I would have
Eric Pratt
printed
for
that out.
one, right?
Eric Pratt, yes,
I have
our
asked him
VP.
almost every year, and his calendar has never aligned. And so to have Eric out there, I think is amazing. Michael Infanson, who is the AZCDL chief lobbyist and really, gets there out there on the Arizona Hill, our version of the Hill, right?
And
And
Michael is so wonderful. I got to step back here just a second. I have to tell you that I was in a group, our weekly meeting with GOA, and I didn't see Eric's picture. It's kind of like a Zoom call. It's on Teams, and I didn't see Eric's picture. And it came my turn to talk about Arizona. I'm like, I'm still waiting to hear from Mr. Pratt on whether he is going to be a speaker at Freedom Festival out here in Arizona. And he's like, Cynthia, I'm right here. And I'm like, oh, okay. So are you? And he's like, when is it? And I'm like, come on, And he's like, yes, of course I'm going to be out there. And I'm like, I get to tell Cheryl. So
very.
yes. And Michael and Faznan, I mean,
Mm.
what a great guy. He is the hardest working lobbyist that I know. And he has been a wonderful mentor for me to be able to, tag along with him, learn about the ins and outs of lobbying. And GOA is so supportive of AZCDL and his efforts. And it's wonderful to be having him to be on the team, to be working with him to protect our rights.
Absolutely. He
And I
is
found my list. So I found my
Oh,
list
good.
of speakers
Go
here.
ahead.
And so we've got Shane Krauser, and Shane he is a brilliant speaker in talking about our Constitution and with the things that he's been doing in the last few years, and his own Veritas organization that he has in training our youth about the Constitution. And in fact, we're going to have one of his prodigies, Ocean Razzo, is going to be a speaker, 14 years old, and this young man is brilliant in his knowledge of the Constitution, and at 14 years old to be grasping the importance of why we have the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. And so he's going to be speaking to our audience.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously Raul Mendez. He was there last year, and his story is one of endurance and survival with what he went through with his own self-defense incident. And he will be talking about that. This is a new one for us. Nick Kay. He is the owner of Black Flag Recovery and Security. He's also my son. I have to throw that out there. Very proud
Love
mama.
it.
But
Family business owners that we are, we love that.
Yes, we like to involve our adult children in our businesses. Well, Nick's story is very unique, and he is slaying a bounty hunter. And he's been doing this for a number of years. He works with FBI, law enforcement, but he brings a new twist to what this is all about. And I don't want to take his thunder. I will let him talk about that to the crowd, but he does have a YouTube channel. He is on social media, but he brings a more compassionate experience to recoveries and talking to individual about mentoring them and how to change their lives and get off of maybe a life of crime. And he's a pretty amazing person.
So
And
Cyn,
then, of course,
he's a bounty hunter.
he's a bounty hunter.
Oh, I'm not gonna be able to go.
The best word is recovery agent. But
He's making a joke.
I guess I'm not gonna be able to go to the event. I could probably go I could dress different. Maybe.
As though the bounty hunter is looking for my vigilante.
He's looking for me.
Husband. No.
You know what, Danny, you should do is do a ride along with him. I think that you would. I did it. I think you would find that quite fascinating and interesting if you ever
Yeah.
wanted to.
Oh,
You'll
that's
have to talk
awesome.
to Nick about
I
it.
have to, yeah, I have to meet him. Yeah.
I love it.
Well, he just finished again, I don't remember the name of the school out in California. It was a very intense 6 weeks training program. And um, at the completion of it, a lot of celebrities look for people who have completed this training program for their own personal bodyguards. He had two celebrities reach out to him. One were the people from Oprah Winfrey, and they were interested in hiring he and his crew for some events, and they said no. And I was very proud of him for that. And I won't go
He's
too far down that story,
living by
but just
his values. I understand.
yes, exactly. And then the other one that they're still in conversation with, and we don't know if it's going to go anywhere, but Clint Eastwood's people have reached out to them.
Now
So
that's cool.
that would be a pretty cool thing if they did a little bit of work for them. So
That's
Yeah.
cool.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
All right, one more name and then we're going to move on.
Okay. Well, let me just see here. I'm going to mention Stephen Williford is going to be back. And Stephen, from the last time, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago when Stephen was here, and he talked about his own personal experience with what happened in his hometown of Sutherland Springs. He has gone on to become working with GOA very closely, and he is a grassroots advocate and industry liaison. He does a lot of work with GOA in going around to different events and talking about the importance of all of our rights, but being able to be a personal protection, self-defense advocate.
Love it. That's
But
fantastic.
we have more, but we don't have time to go over everybody. But it will be on our social media.
Yes, check it out on how do people find that? On Facebook?
You know what? The best place in the world to find it is on our Facebook page, which is GOA AZ Freedom Festival. I've been posting everything on that page, and we also have an event set up on that page where I've been listing all of the speakers' profiles.
I love it. One more I'm just going to shout out is Jared Yanis. He is huge in this world, right? His podcast has a gajillion followers, and he kind of keeps us all on top of whatever the latest craziness is that the other side is trying to throw out there. He helps break down laws so that we simple average Americans with busy lives can understand them. He's the guns and gadgets guy, and I love that he's coming back. I believe last year was the first year he came out, so that's a huge get in my opinion. So fantastic.
Well, I do want to add that he is going to be speaking for approximately 20 minutes, and then he is going to take questions from the crowd. So he's very approachable. He will be there available to meet with people, talk with people afterwards at our tent. But if you have any questions, bring your questions, and we're going to be doing a live questions and answer segment with him.
Well, I love the hype man that's going to be down in the audience helping with the questions.
Alex Shea.
Yes.
He's one of our state directors out east, and Alex is a wild man, and he's going to be doing some entertainment on stage. We're going to be doing how well do you know the Constitution? We're going to have a little music and entertainment that way. So we're just going to try and liven things up a little bit.
Well, I love it. He's amazing, and that's going to be an extra layer of fun. And then one more thing about the rally that I think is so important and impactful, and a continuation of what we've always done, is there is a way to include children and young people. This is a family-friendly event. So talk about that aspect real quick.
Okay, well, we are again having the kids area. We were going to try it. We were going to bring in the inflatable Daisy BB gun range, but that got shot down, literally. But so we are going to have our Nerf guns, and we're going to have some cornhole. I am looking for a face painter, so I haven't found that person yet, but we are going to have a kids area. But I'm really glad you reminded me of this. We are offering a $500 scholarship that will be presented to one male and one female at let me think here, at 3 o'clock. And the way to enter is to send an email to me, and I'll give you the email address at the end of our interview. But it's an essay-based an essay-based scholarship, and 750 words. And what we're looking for is the student to write about, what does the Second Amendment mean to you? What is the history of the Second Amendment? How relevant is the Second Amendment today? And what do you see as the future of the Second Amendment? And the winner of the scholarship does not necessarily need to be going to a four-year university. This is, if somebody is going to university, that's great, or tech college, or a 2-year, or if the student is actually going to be going out into the workforce, this is going to be a $500 scholarship to help them get a start on whatever direction their life is going to take them. And so I'm looking for emails for one male, one female graduating this year to enter. And hopefully we've got some people watching this. I do have a deadline. When are we airing again on this?
This will publish on February 7th of 2025.
Perfect. Okay. Because my cutoff is February 17th on receiving the essays. So parents,
how do they submit
this?
How do they submit?
They will submit to my email address, and it is cyn.ladd@gunowners.org. That is my personal email for GOA. And there is a panel of us that will be reading the essays and making the decisions.
I think that's phenomenal. I really hope that gets some traction, because we need the young people to find these values for themselves. And I think writing an essay is just a great way to sort of wrestle with ideas and come to their own conclusion. So I think that's brilliant. Investing in the next generation. All right. For you yourself, Miss Cyn Ladd, right? I feel like I'm starting to do the This Is Your Life episode. Where does your passion?
I wrote a whole bunch. It's all just highlighted notes.
Right? Where does your passion come from to protect our rights? Your personal journey, you were a small business owner, and now you are a lobbyist for an activist and an advocate under the GOA, Gun Owners of America brand, for our individual liberties and our right to keep and bear arms. How did this journey unfold?
Well, I was born back in Iowa, as you know.
In Iowa, yes.
I was thinking about this the last couple of days on how to compact all this information, but I kind of came up with some key points that happened in my life, and that really shaped my personality and helping me become the person that I am today. And as I said before, I was born and raised on a farm, spent the first 10 years of my life on the farm, really developed a love for the land, a love for our country. My parents were very patriotic. And I just say my strong Iowa work ethic also. But I have to say that the first real big moment in my life actually came in 7th grade, when I experienced a form of racism for the very first time. And
oh, wow.
I was so shocked. I mean, here I am in little Midwest town of 500 people, and there was a young man who was brought in by our local church to visit. He was from Atlanta, and we all loved him. He was fun. We all played. We had a great time together and everything. And then on his last day, my mom and I threw a party at our house and invited all the neighborhood kids to come. Nobody showed up.
Oh.
And I was shocked, and I was trying to figure out, why is nobody coming? And the funny thing was, he was a young Black boy, and I didn't see a color line. Never had seen a color line in my entire life. And later found out that the parents found out and did not want their children coming. And, I was extremely hurt. I
Mhm.
felt so bad for my friend. And he explained it to me that he goes, I'm used to it. Don't worry about it. Let's eat some cake and we'll just have fun. And we did, but it broke a piece inside of me. That was the first time I would say that I actually felt a social injustice. And so that was a real benchmark. And so that one, in 10th grade, I was kicked out of art class because we had the everything going on with President Richard Nixon. And my art teacher stood up in front of our class, and he was a first-year art teacher, fresh out of college. And he had his own viewpoints and was sharing them in class quite rudely and really saying things that I felt was inappropriate in how you address the presidency of the United States. And I stood up and I told him that. And I
I
said,
can
I think it would be
completely
best.
believe this.
I
I
know.
can picture this.
And you see this? Yes. And,
Yes.
and I told him, I said, your job is to be teaching our class about art. It's not to be debating political science. You're not a political science teacher. And he pointed to the door and he said, Larson, to the principal's office. So I got kicked out of class. And my mom came down and supported me to the principal. And the funny thing was that next semester, that teacher was gone.
Mm.
And so I stood up for my beliefs. And the last kind of real big thing that's actually quite funny, I've always tried to see both sides of any argument, of any position. I want to learn. And I was reading Gloria Steinem's book. It was an autobiography, and was with a group of women that I didn't really know that well, but they saw that I was reading this book. They came over and they're like, oh, you should join our book club. We're going to be discussing this book. Come to our book club. And I'm like, oh, great. I love making new friends. This is wonderful. I'm kind of like those little happy dogs, tails wagging. I'm like, oh, yay, I'm going to make new friends. I
How'd
show
that
up,
turn out?
not well, because we're discussing the book, then we're having private conversations, and then all of a sudden we're standing up and toasting to President Hillary Clinton because she was just elected. And I'm like, wait a minute, Hillary's not the president. Wasn't her husband elected president? And they're like, what are you talking about? And it came out that I voted for Ross Perot. And so I didn't even vote for Bush, but I had voted for Ross Perot. And they quickly took my wine glass away from me. They wouldn't even let me finish my wine. They gave me my coat and told me to hit the door because I wasn't one of them. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be one of you because I came here to make new friends and you're not very nice.
Yeah.
So it's those kind of funny things that happen throughout life that really have a way of defining a person. And the big thing that I realized at those moments that a person's belief system can override their sense of dignity, their pursuit of wanting to understand both sides, of looking for truth and respect. And when you throw that all together and you mix it up in a bag, I realized that people can be very polarizing in their passions. And that's one thing I don't want to do. I'm very proud Republican. I vote the way I do. I try to vote on the right person, but in the big picture of things, I do know that supporting a party is important, especially right now, to be able to achieve a goal. But I still can have opinions about people and maybe about their positions and everything. But I don't want to be so polarizing that I can't see the other side.
Exactly.
And you and I experienced that, Cheryl, a couple of years ago when we were down at the Capitol talking, and I was speaking about, I think, faster and the importance of being able to protect our most valuable assets.
Our children.
yes, our children. And I'm jumping ahead. One of my proudest moments was being called out by Moms Demand Action, and how they took everything I said and they twisted it to match their narrative on what a horrible, gun-loving, violent person I was, which that wasn't the case at all. But again, people can manipulate situations to match their narrative. And that really bothers me out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. We say you got shanned, right? Because
Yes.
she
Yeah.
was the
I got
leader at the
shame,
time.
shame. Yes, exactly. I
Shannon
know.
Watts.
Proud
Um,
moment.
it's like, so I just said, what was your proudest moment in your advocacy? Was that it, or was there something else?
You know, I I say that tongue in cheek that that was a proud moment being called out by her. Um, I don't really like to think of proud moments because then it takes everything I do to make it about me, and it's not about me. It's um, I'm very proud to be involved with Gun Owners of America,
Mm.
and so on a personal level, I would say a very proud defining moment happened for me last August, following Goals, our first big event that GOA put on. And I was in Tennessee. After the event was over, I have ancestors in Kentucky. And I went on a personal mission to try and find the gravesite of my ancestor, Captain Charles Gatliff, who fought in the Revolution.
Mm.
And by the grace of God, I made a connection who made a connection that made a connection. And I was able to locate this lovely lady by the name of Nadine, whose grandparents bought the original Gatliff farm. And my ancestor, Charles Gatliff, and his wife, Christine, are buried back in a field way, way back in this field that I had to hike through. And in a grove of trees, I found their headstones.
Wow.
And
Wow.
that moment
Yes.
it was very defining for me because I felt a true connection to the fact that the blood in my veins
Hmm.
goes back to somebody that actually fought in the revolution. And so that was a very defining moment for me and why I do what I do.
Very cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
Dan,
a personal mission is, and you and I had talked about this, is I want to take all of my mom's hard work to be able to join Daughters of the American Revolution.
Yes.
And at their gravesite, the Sons of the American Revolution have marked it. Personal goal would like to have the Daughters of the American Revolution place a marker at their gravesite.
Oh, that is phenomenal. What a very cool story. Well, Dan, I've been talking her ear off. Don't you have a question to ask?
I can't outdo her.
I know.
She's,
Yes, you can. Yes,
no,
you
I can't.
can.
You're doing amazing stuff, and I can't.
Well, then I have another question.
Okay.
What has been your biggest challenge and your biggest frustration in the work that you've been doing?
My biggest challenge is answering this question. I would say this isn't a real deep answer for you, but I would say time. It's as if I don't have enough time in the day to get everything done.
Mhm.
And between learning the ropes of being a lobbyist to organizing this event to doing the things I want to do with women for gun rights, there's just not enough time. And I have to every single day prioritize by the degree of the fire what I'm going to be doing. And I think you can relate because I know you wear a lot of different hats too.
Absolutely.
And what was the second half of the question? Biggest frustration?
Yeah, challenges and frustrations in advocating for our Bill of Rights.
Um, I'm going to rephrase it and say that it's not necessarily a frustration, but it is um, just trying to educate people on the importance and the understanding of the Second Amendment, in getting people to do their own research, so that they're not just watching the talking heads on TV. And I think with this last election, that has really opened the door, especially with the YouTubers like Jared, Sean Ryan, Tucker Carlson, the amazing things that he's been doing, and just with President Trump and the things that he's doing, and people are maybe moving away from mainstream media and realizing that there's other sources where they can get their information. Your show, with what you guys are doing and the information that you're bringing out there to the public, and just and organizations like ours, Gun Owners of America, and the things that we're out there, is just continuing to do the work, one person at a time, one event at a time. And sometimes we'll see results right away, and sometimes we won't, but that we just have to stay at it. And sooner or later, we are going to win this battle.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's it. Every time I think of frustrations from the work that I've done, I feel like, the apathy of the general public is such a frustration, and trying to work that puzzle. And how do I inspire? How do I, motivate? How do I engage people to help them understand that in their busy, crazy lives and schedules, that these things do matter, and that there are entire organizations out there that are never taking a nap and constantly working against our rights. And if we are checked out, the battle's already lost. It's just a matter of letting the time run out.
And that's the problem. So people like you guys, I guess us,
and yourself, yeah.
we're doing the work of 10 people.
Right.
When if we could get those 10 people to do it, and those 10 people to do it, then we all could live a little calmer, right? But it's hard.
You know what? We're not going to, Danny. No, I don't think
I know that. I know that.
Ever going to get to that point.
But it's nice that when you have a whole bunch of guys doing the same thing you're doing. Right. It's like being at a corporation working, and you're doing all the work, and they're sitting there doing nothing. That's what we're doing. They're doing nothing, and they're gonna. There's some believe that, oh, I'll just wait. They're never going to take my gun away. It's not that way. You got to do it now. You got to work now, and you got to. I don't know, I get irritated because it's just, I see so many people sitting on the couch doing nothing, and we're like going, Atlanta here, George, we go here and there and there, and running and running and running. And sometimes you go, does anybody hear us?
Right. And the old percentage, I think, what is 80%, the 80-20 rule, that 20% are doing 80% of the work. And maybe even it's 90-10. Some days it feels like 99 and 1.
Yes.
But that's absolutely the truth. And I think probably one of the most frustrating, to answer this question, as you both were talking, made me realize, is getting people to understand the importance of protecting our children in schools. I mean, I can't go into a jewelry store. Sometimes most jewelry stores now have, a buzzer. You got to push a buzzer to be able to get through the door. They have armed guards. You look at the airports, and here we are sending our children still today, sending our children into public schools without any type of protection in there. And there are programs like Faster that is up and running. Yeah. It's available.
FasterSavesLives.org. Check it out.
Absolutely. And the times that we have been down at the legislature and trying to, talk to, we've got our core group. Let me back up. We have some great legislators that are on the same page with us, that are passing this legislation, but then it gets to someone's desk and it gets vetoed. I just really wish we could sit down with some of the people who, again, have their own personal agendas. They're not looking at the big picture of what we're talking about. If we could just sit down and have a conversation to say, please justify to me why having something of equal force within the school walls is not a good idea. If we are going to let a madman be able to access, or a madwoman access our schools and come in and put our children at danger, why can't we have a trained, smart, responsible person who's right there that can answer the call and protect our children? I struggle with the opposition on that.
You talk to these people, you talk to school board people, you talk to legislators, you talk to everybody. Do you think maybe it's just because they don't want to take the responsibility of it, and they just don't want,
but by pushing back and not allowing programs like fastersaveslives.org, check it out, by not allowing, isn't that even more responsibility and liability?
But it's not on the table right now.
Leaving out there, and it's somebody else's kid, I guess, so they don't care. But those that have kids in school, I don't understand it. There's such a logic disconnect when it comes to stuff like that. But we just keep talking. We just keep showing up and testifying and doing the work we're doing. And I think that we've got a culture shift in this nation right now with the last election that, maybe the scales will start falling from people's eyes, is my hope, that they'll be able to actually be able to see logic for what it is. They'll have the discernment to hire the right people with their votes and support the right bills that will really protect children and our safety. But when we talk about apathy, we talk about educating people, again, we will, as we're closing out, just bring it right back around to the events that GOA is putting on. They've really dove into the event space in a big way. There's a big women's shoot coming up in Texas. I don't really have the details on that, but I'm sure if you go to GOA.org, you can check that out. There's the goals event that we just mentioned, but we didn't dive into, but that's the Gun Owners Advocacy and Leadership Summit. I love that acronym. And it's teaching you and me, average moms and dads, how to be an advocate, how to be a leader, how to use your smartphone, right? You are your own first responder. You are your own citizen journalist. And you walk around with a studio in your hand everywhere you go, right? Your smartphone has a microphone and a camera. That's in Knoxville, Tennessee in August, I believe, of 2025.
It is, and I don't remember the exact date, but I want to say it was like mid-August. But it'll be on, I think it's on a banner on our main website, gunowners.org, that you can find that information.
Gunowners.org. Thank you for correcting me on that. And then, of course, we will close out just plugging one more time the big rally here in Arizona.
Yes, the GOA AZ Freedom Fest. It'll be March 1st. At the Wesley Bolin Plaza, and it will be, we didn't give a time, it will be from 10 until 4. One other thing I forgot to mention that I'm really excited about, we had this at Goals, is the 360 camera. And for everybody out there that loves their iPhone, loves their social media, this thing is a blast. And it's a platform that you stand on, the camera goes around you, you get to make funny faces, we'll have props, and it makes a little video that you'll be able to post onto your social media, and bring your friends, come down. It is so much fun to do. And again, we're going to have food. We're going to have free water. We will have free water. We are giving away 300 GOA t-shirts. We will have our large merchandise store. We also, we have the raffle, Cheryl. We haven't talked about that. Danny, the big firearm raffle. And we have all that information on our Facebook fan page. And food trucks. It's going to be a great day. And I just hope to see a lot of Arizonans down there and celebrating our freedom, because we want this event to be about faith, family, and freedom. And isn't that what we all want?
Absolutely. And what is being raffled off is a Colt 1911 45 donated by MMP Guns, and the engraving that
Yeah.
is done on every conceivable surface of this beautiful handgun is just outrageous. I I want it myself, but
I know.
because the tickets are being sold through azcdl.org. I'm a board member of the azcdl.org, and so therefore I'm not eligible. But I'm like, so my husband's not a board member. Maybe
Exactly.
he can buy a ticket. Anyway, this thing is gorgeous. Check it out. Go to GOA AZ Freedom Festival Facebook page or azcdl.org. We'll be selling the tickets through that site because we are a C4, and that's part of the raffle rules as how the tickets have to be sold. But you have just taken a great event, Cyn, and you have made it just exponential in so many ways. Thank you so much for all of your work, just keeping the legacy of this event alive and growing it into the future.
Well, thank you. And it's an absolute honor to be somewhat following in your footsteps. But my feet, I don't think are quite as big as yours, and that's why you are going to be the MC, my friend.
I am so excited about that. Me and Monty Bowen, I think we're going to
Yes,
have a blast. Alex Shea out in the audience and up on the stage doing Alex Shea things because he's a wild
absolutely.
man, and just a party looking for a place to happen. Um, Cyn, God bless you and all that you do. And thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. Tell folks real quick, how can they follow you and all the work that you're doing?
Well, I have my list here. So on X, you can find me at Cyn Ladd, SWD. On Instagram, you can find me at Cyn_Ladd. On Facebook, I'm Cyn Ladd, CYNLADD, or my other business, I didn't even talk about that, is Cyn Ladd's Smart Women Defense, which is my own private training company that has unfortunately taken a back seat here the last few months because of how busy I am with everything else. But we focus on training women on personal protection with a handgun.
Fantastic. And all those links will also be on your guest page on gunfreedomradio.com. Cyn, again, thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you, if not before, on Saturday, March 1st, Saturday, March
Yep.
1st from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Arizona State Capitol. Wesley Bowling Plaza is the park just across the street. So excited. Can't wait to see you.
Thank you, both of you. God bless you.
Bye-bye.
Bless you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
It's so interesting to me to meet people who are equally as busy and invested in this kind of advocacy work as we are. And it's just really a beautiful bond that we have. And it's amazing to get to share that and work together. But thank you, Cyn, so much for all that you do. All right. Let's give some credit to the organizations that support the work that we do. There's Attorneys on Retainer .us/GFR. If you go there, that is a program that we are clients of. And the reason you would want an attorney on retainer is, God forbid, none of us ever want to be in a self-defense situation. But if you find yourself in such a situation, whether you are using your firearm, a rock, a knife, a baseball bat to defend yourself, whatever it is, there will be the legal aspects, and you will want an attorney on retainer. So please go there, attorneysonretainer.us/GFR. We get a small portion of your membership to support the work that we're doing. It's heating up outside. It's only February, but I'm telling you, summer is looming. And when you get out on the range in Arizona, you want to be sure that you have a good, firm grip on your firearm and that you don't get the sweaty palms, right? You know what I'm talking about? That happens.
You.
It's kind of an ooh, but it's a reality, right? So lockedingrip.com is a liquid shooting sports chalk. Boy, that's a tongue twister. Liquid shooting sports chalk for a better, safer, faster grip on your firearm, please go there to lockedingrip.com. Buy some for yourself and your favorite buddy that you go out on the range with.
It's a better alternative than what I used to do.
What's that?
Well, you take your gun, it's summertime, you
Yes.
set it on the dash of your car with metal grips, and then you grab it and it sticks to your hand.
Yeah.
That's the other way.
Yeah.
It's a little more painful.
That always makes me think of the Indiana Jones movie, right? Every time we get in summertime, just even touching our steering wheels, it's just like it just burns into your hand.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And he was reaching for the amulet that was in the
Yeah.
fire and it burns his hand.
Yeah.
Go look up the movie.
That
You'll see what
happens
I
all
mean.
the time in Arizona.
All right. And we want to invite you to this invitation only shopping network. It is the most amazing thing. If you like supporting American jobs on American soil, buying American made items, you will want to go to patriothousehold.com/GFR to support Gun Freedom Radio. You can buy all the same stuff that you buy at those big box stores. And when you spend money over there at the big box stores, they're taking a portion of that money and working against our values and our rights. If you go to patriothousehold.com/GFR, those dollars support the work we do, the support that Second Amendment Foundation does, and supports your personal values. You can buy your shampoo, your laundry soap, your snacks, your ground beef, your steaks. You can order online, set your order and forget it, or order as you go. The order shows up on your doorstep. High quality products. We've never purchased a single thing there that we didn't want to reorder. It's such a great service. And the fact that it shows up on my doorstep, that saves me time driving to the grocery store, driving to the big box store.
And it's kind of a
Check it
thing
out.
now. It's kind of a thing now. Buy American.
Yes. It's a thing again. Isn't
Yeah.
that wonderful?
That's a thing again.
Yeah. Avoid all the tariffs, right? Buy American. patriothousehold.com/GFR. Thank you again to our amazing guest, Cyn Ladd. Again, when you're looking her up online, it's CYN, short for Cynthia, CYN Ladd, LADD. And she is just doing such great work. I want to support her in every way I can. Thank you to our amazing listeners all across the globe. Wherever in the world there is internet, we have viewers who are hungry for the information that we share here with our subject matter experts. And we so appreciate you that you spend your time with us. If you want to watch this episode over again or any of our videos, go to YouTube, GunStreamer, or the OpsLens smartphone app. When you get to those platforms, please like and subscribe. That tells those platforms that you value this content, and that gives us a little hedge against being, that cancel culture that's been so rampant the last few years, pushing back on the things that we talk about on this show. And it helps to grow our numbers. And when we grow our numbers, that just helps us in every conceivable way. That is an interesting kind of currency out there, right? Well, how many likes do you have? How many subscribers? How many shares do you have? That all matters to the work that we're doing here. And we appreciate your help when you can do that for us. If you want to listen to the audio only version, because maybe you're out on a bike ride, right? You're mowing the yard, whatever you're doing, you can go to our website, GunFreedomRadio.com, click the on demand tab, and
binge listen to your heart's content, darling.
And then if you want to see the photos and bios and links to all of our guests that have ever been on, including Cyn Ladd, click the guest tab. It is an ever-growing body of work of subject matter experts. And when you spend time there, we don't hate that. All right. Till next time, we are going to
pray for our nation.
We're going to
pray for our leaders.
What about the ones we're frustrated with? The ones that aren't really doing freedom work?
Did you see that the Suns won the basketball game yesterday?
No, they didn't. And you are avoiding my question. We are going to pray even especially harder for the legislators.
Suns.
The Suns, yes. Phoenix Suns basketball team. For the ones that frustrate us, right? I think they need our prayers even especially more. All right, until next time, be good to each other. Have a great week and God bless.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.